Well, folks, the C8 Corvette has won another award. But who will this impress? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Brink of Speed. Today, we're going to discuss the C8 Corvette Stingray and it winning the 2020 North American Car of the Year. What a prestigious award to win. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. Now, I've always been a huge fan of all car magazines, and from the time I was 8 or 9 years old, I read every piece of car literature that I could get my hands on. And I respected each of their perspectives on these cars that I was reading about. And I absolutely loved getting my hands on those magazines and reading as much as I could about these cars. Now, as you know, I am a lover of Corvettes and have been since I was a little kid. But I remember the first time that I saw the C5 Corvette on the cover of a magazine. It was like I had died and gone to heaven. It won Performance Car of the Year back in 1998. And I couldn't find the section for that story fast enough in that magazine. I wanted to read all about this new beautiful 5th generation Corvette that absolutely blew my mind when I read about it. With all of the improvements from the C4 to the C5, not only with the body, but also with the engine, transmission, and overall chassis, this car was a real game changer. Years since then, the next Corvette that shocked the world and me was the C7. I was much older when the 7th generation Corvette appeared on magazine covers though. I will never forget seeing it for the first time and reading about it. The C7 once again changed the game for Corvette. It took the Corvette to new heights that it had never seen. I was again super eager to read about this 2014 Performance Car of the Year. The lines on the C7 were like that of a fighter jet and very exotic. Chevrolet had finally fixed most of the flaws on the inside of the Corvette as well. And as you all know, I had a C5 Z06 back in 2003, and I loved everything about the Corvette, but the inside was obviously lacking a few things, and same with the C6. But when I got my C7, it totally made up for everything that the C5 and C6 lacked on the inside. I was very impressed with this 7th generation Corvette. And I specifically remember thinking, this car is so beautiful and so well done, I don't see how GM can make the Z06 look better than this. The first time I saw the Stingray out and about, I couldn't believe the beauty of this car, and I figured that it was going to be very difficult for GM to actually improve on that look. But as you know, GM did just that, and it was the best looking Corvette built until now. Leave me a comment below and let me know if you agree with this or not. I am of the opinion that the C7 Corvette, until now, was the greatest looking Corvette ever. I've only owned 3 generations, but I've driven a C2 and a C4, and out of all the 5 generations that I've driven, the C7 is by far my favorite. Now, I didn't think that GM could make a new Corvette look better than the C7 Corvette, much less outperform it. This, however, is exactly what they did with their new mid-engine C8 Corvette Stingray. It is now, by far, the best looking Corvette ever. And of course, this is just my opinion. There have been many skeptics with this new mid-engine Corvette, and rightly so. Chevrolet has been teasing us with the thought of a new mid-engine Corvette for almost 60 years. People wanted to know why now? Why didn't they make this sooner? All I wanted to know was, will it perform like I knew it could? Besides the fact that GM improved this new C8 in every performance category, it has undergone major drivetrain repositioning. This is the first Corvette to be mass-produced with its engine behind the driver, so it had a lot to live up to, wouldn't you agree? It is also the first Corvette to have a dual-clutch transmission. So with all of that said, I was curious to see if GM was going to make this new mid-engine Corvette look great. And they did just that. GM has a lot to be proud of with their new 2020 C8 Corvette. We already know the performance figures are impressive. 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds, quarter mile in 11.3 seconds, and a top speed of 194 miles an hour. But now, for this North American Car of the Year award, the C8 has to go before a panel of 50 car journalists/critics. And these are all top-rated journalists. Road and Track, Motor Trend, and Car and Driver have all been impressed by the C8, but now it was time for the next test, a panel of 50 jurors. Well, they have decided that the C8 is the North American Car of the Year. So that's amazing news, ladies and gentlemen. And, leave me a comment below and let me know if this excites you. But moving on, this is all well and good. However, let's not forget that the C8 hasn't passed the real test yet. You might ask me, what's the real test? Well, until we, the public, are able to drive the C8 and do our own investigative, thorough analysis on it, GM hasn't won quite yet. For one thing, this car has already taken so long to become a reality, and with the UAW strike pushing production back a couple of months, believe it or not, this is something that GM will have to recover from. And when I say recover, I mean from the general public. Once the C8 is in people's garages, they are going to be some of the harshest critics yet. You will hear things like, with how long GM took to get the C8 in our hands, there better not be any issues with this car, and so on and so forth. And to a certain extent, I can see their point, but I would argue that GM has done a wonderful job on this car, and we have a lot to be proud of. And they are taking every step they can to ensure its success, which is a good thing, wouldn't you agree? With all that being said though, this latest prestigious honor of the C8 winning the 2020 North American Car of the Year has me once again super excited about owning this new C8. I hope it's excited you also. Let me know if it has done that for you, and leave me a comment down in the comment section below letting me know what you think about this prestigious award. But that's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to bring this to your attention. I'm sure most of you have already seen this, but I wanted to make a video about it just in case you hadn't, and just kind of explain my whole viewpoint of the Corvette from beginning till now, and shed some light on the fact that yes, GM has definitely knocked it out of the park with this new C8 in the eyes of the journalistic world, but they have not yet knocked it out of the park in the eyes of the public, which is, in my opinion, the most important people to impress, because we are the ones that are paying the money for this car. The journalists aren't paying a penny to get in the car, do their review of it, drive it around, have fun with it. They're not paying anything. In fact, they're being paid to do it. Not by GM, but they are doing their job, which is something that obviously they get paid for. So again, with all of that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give me a big thumbs up. And if you have not joined this wonderful Brink of Speed community, we are growing so fast, guys. I can't tell you how grateful I am for all of your wonderful support. If you would like to be a part of this great and wonderful Brink of Speed community, make sure you smash that red subscribe and bell notification so that you're notified when my new content comes out. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you out on the road.